Bill for Safety Protection of Factory Workers scales second reading in Anambra State Assembly. Executive Secretary, Anambra State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, UCHEM, tasked staff on effective service delivery. Mr. Fintri wins Adamawa State gubernatorial election. From the foreign scenes, Brazilian President Lula condemns violation of Ukraine's territory. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chuma Soludo has come for a turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and welcome to the news. My name is Uchechukwu Ibonam. A bill for a law to ensure the safety, health, and welfare of factory workers and all persons lawfully present at factories has scaled second reading in Anambra State House of Assembly. The bill, which is sponsored by the Deputy Speaker of the House, Dr. Pascal Abodike, scaled second reading during plenary on Tuesday. The House of Assembly correspondent Chukwemeka Modelim filed a report taken from here.
The bill is designed to ensure the safety and protection of factory workers in the state from occupational hazards by providing correlating duties and penalties for the breach thereof. The Deputy Speaker further said that the bill mandates every employer to carry out appropriate risk assessment in relation to the safety and health of persons employed, and on the basis of these results, adopt preventive and protective measures to ensure that under all conditions of their intended use, all chemicals, machinery, equipment, tools, and process under the control of the employer are safe and without risk to health and comply with the requirements of safety and health provisions in the bill.
This bill, if passed, will checkmate all those abnormalities. For one to establish a factory where some goods and some materials are being produced, there are some safety measures the person should put in place.
On his part, the Deputy Majority Leader, Sir Emeka Foka, added that any person who contravenes the provisions of the bill commits an offence and is liable upon conviction to a fine not exceeding 100,000 naira or to an imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 months or both. In his contribution, the Chairman of House Committee on Health, Dr. Kata Umoduago, noted that the bill will guarantee the safety of factory workers as it ensures that every factory owner will put in place all appropriate protective clothing or equipment to be used in the workplace by employees who, in the course of employment, are likely to be exposed to the risk of bodily injuries, and adequate instructions in the use of protective equipment.
Go to factories, you don't even see common fire extinguisher. And the bill is just talking about standards. Ensuring standards, and when standards are met, you see that safety is also ensured.
In their contributions, the member representing Oyi constituency, Honorable Charles Obima, and his Nnewi North constituency counterpart, Honorable Nonso Smart Okafor, and the member representing Anambra East constituency, Honorable Obinna Emeneka, who noted that the good health is the fundamental right of every worker, maintained that it seeks to protect the common man working in every factory in the state from chemicals that can endanger his health, and put in place good welfare package for him. Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Uche Okafor, read out the bill for the second time, while the legislators supported it through a voice vote.
Those in support that this bill passes the second reading say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Moving on, wife of the governor of Anambra State, Mrs. Nonye Soludo, has warned that the society risks more harm if parents and other social custodians continue to neglect important family values and giving the idols of child raising petty attention. The Anambra governor's wife, who was speaking in Awka, said that total neglect of basic child upbringing formulas by today's families put the society in greater danger, with fast decline in moral rectitude, slowing, overshadowing traditional social etiquette. Mrs. Soludo said that most social challenges faced by the present society, including drug addiction, cultism, and armed robbery, kidnapping, fast and illicit quest for money, and violent agitation, among others, point to the failure by the society as a whole to instill the right ideals in the younger generation. The governor's wife, who is also the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA War Against Drug Abuse Ambassador in Anambra State, said she is committed to the war against proliferation of illicit drugs and use, especially among school children, and would continue to engage in social advocacies and other avenues to create awareness on the dangers of hard drugs and help stem the tide of drug abuse in Anambra State. Mrs. Soludo, who expressed worry over a rising moral deficit in today's society, said it is time for parents and indeed all stakeholders, including schools, political, religious, and community leaders, to be more pragmatic in their social duties, while government at all levels must do more to show sincere commitment to tackling growing social deprivations. The governor's wife further reiterated her earlier call for the parents to always question the source of their children's wealth, especially when it appears suspicious and questionable, and also called on the general society to preach more about the value of hard work and desist from giving material precedence over diligence. The Executive Secretary and Anambra State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Pharmacist Chisom Uchem, has advised their workers across the state to be responsive and dedicated to their duty at all times. Pharmacist Uchem stated this while speaking with ABS Health correspondent Chibuzo Koye in Oka. Pharmacist Uchem said that the warning became imperative to ensure that their workers in all the primary healthcare centers in the state are doing what is expected of them by delivering quality medical services to Anambra. The Executive Secretary noted that Governor Chukwuma Soludo is passionate about the health needs of the citizenry, hence his massive human and material investment into the state health sector. She, however, praised the doggedness of their workers across the state and promised that the Anambra State government will continue to prioritize their welfare for an improved social service delivery. According to Pharmacist Uchem, under her leadership, Anambra witnessed a service-oriented primary healthcare system that will be in tandem with Governor Soludo's healthcare policy. The Actor State Primary Health Development Agency Executive Secretary further urged community leaders in the various communities in the state to ensure the safety of the workers in their various domains as well as their equipment. Keke riders in Anambra, under the auspices of Anambra Keke Drivers Forum, AKDF, has taken their time to inspect the ongoing road projects in Oka, Anambra State capital. Speaking shortly after the exercise, the coordinator of Anambra State Keke Drivers Forum, Comrade Usita Obi, said that the aim was to ensure that its tax they are paying are being utilized and assure that they will champion a tax drive to enable Governor Chukwuma Soludo do better. Correspondent Valentine Badua tells us more.
He said that with what they saw, Governor Soludo is keeping to his promises of putting every Anambra money to maximum use and expressed their satisfaction to that effect. He also asked that government should checkmate the activities of some of the enforcement teams to ensure they are keeping to the rules and promised their unalloyed support.
KDF will not only make sure that 100% of Keke drivers get into government tax net, but we will also go out of our way to make sure that other taxpayers in Anambra State get into government tax nets, so that government will see more fund to execute projects like this. Yes.
The Operation Clean and Healthy Anambra Ota Brigade Commander, Mr. Celestine Anere, who joined the Keke riders during the exercise, encouraged them to commit to tax payment without enforcement so that they will pay more attention to eliminating touts, emphasizing that Governor Soludo is committed to zero touts in Anambra State. Mr. Anere asked that all hands should be on deck to achieve a tout-free Anambra, as reliable informations will help them to achieve good results.
Educate your members, let them start paying their revenues so that we can have enough time. The governor is bent on eliminating abos.
Some Keke drivers who spoke to the ABS, including Mr. Amos Nweke, Asamoah Victor, and Uchenna Ume, commended Governor Soludo's performance and strategic developmental milestones achieved so far.
I can see where my tax money is going to. My tax money is being used for maintenance of my state. I'm very, very glad. I thank Governor Soludo at least I am now convinced, more convinced, that when I go out to tell people, please go and pay your tax, I can still see where I'll point my hand and to tell them that see where that your money is going to.
Still to come in the news tonight. Mr. Fintiri wins Adamawa State gubernatorial election. Brazilian President Lula condemns violation of Ukraine's territory. Governor Chukuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. So let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. The news returns after the short break.
A peak protein breakfast gets you up to a great day. How do I know? Because my daddy goes through his work feeling good and always with a smile. Mommy is always filled with confidence. My sister is always in tune. And for me, learning new things becomes absolute fun. Because all day and every day, the peak goes on.
Start your day with a Peak Protein Breakfast Peak.
Welcome back to the rest of the news. Governor Ahmed Fintiri of Adamawa State has won the 2023 governorship election in Adamawa State. Ahmed Fintiri of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, pulled 9,337 in the supplementary polls to bring his total to 430,869, while Senator Binani got 6,513 on the supplementary elections, bringing her total figure to 398,788. It will be recalled that Senator Binani was wrongly pronounced the winner of the election by the resident electoral commissioner of the state, Barrister Hudu Yunusa Ari, who has since been suspended by INEC. From the foreign scenes, the Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has denounced the violation of Ukraine's territorial integrity after facing criticisms for remarks he made over the weekend about Russia's invasion of the country. The left-wing leader, however, did double down on his call for mediation on the conflict, which began in February 2022. The Brazilian leader explained that he expressed concern in Agonis over the global consequences of the war in terms of food and energy security, especially in the poorest regions of the planet. Brazil has positioned itself as an advocate for peace amidst the war in Ukraine, which has injured or killed as many as 22,209 civilians by March 20th. The United Nations has confirmed, though it notes the real number may be considerably higher. He also criticized the United States and Europe for contributing to the hostilities by supplying Ukraine with weapons. Lula explained that he hoped to build a group of countries that have nothing to do with war, that don't want war, to lead negotiations between Ukraine and Russia. From the world of sports, Anambra State Sports Development Commission Chairman Patrick Estate Onyedum has commended the state contingent to the second strata-based National Karate Championship held in Bayelsa for their outstanding performance. Speaking in his office in Oka when he received report on the outing from coach of the team, Godwin Okoro, Onyedum said the Anambra Anambra's team performance at the competition held at the Samson Siasia Stadium, Yenagoa, between April 12th and April 15 showed that the state has comparative advantage in karate and expressed desire to take development of the sport in primary and secondary schools across the state. According to the report, Anambra emerged overall second best at the championship at the competition with 4 gold and 4 silver behind Federal Capital Territory, which garnered 5 gold, 1 silver, and 5 bronze. Anambra won gold through Ujunwa Nwankwo in the 68 kg category, Uche Nawono in the 67 kg category, Team Kate female, and Team Kumuti female. Ngozi Okoro won 2 silver in individual kate and 50 kg. Emmanuel Obuago won 67 kg, while Chinemerem Chadikobi completed the medal haul. On behalf of the Governor, Professor Chuguma Soludo, the Anambra State Sports Development Commission Chairman Onyedum congratulated the team for coming second in a national competition, saying it is not an easy feat. He urged the coach to work with Anambra Karate Association to work out a template for establishment of clubs in selected primary and secondary schools in the 3 senatorial districts of the state for physical and mental development of the Anambra child, among other benefits. Earlier, the coach of the Anambra team, Okoro, thanked the chairman of the commission for giving the 7-man team the opportunity to participate at the championship, adding that with the necessary support by the government, he is ready to take the sports of Anambra communities. He said karate was good for self-defense, discipline of the athletes, as well as high medal winner for state at competitions. The remains of late Honorable Emmanuel Ekemeka Okoye has been laid to rest at his hometown, Edoji, Uragonewe. Honorable Emma, also known as by his title name, Oranwechi, who died at the age of 79 years, was a retired teacher, counselor, and a philanthropist. Ogochukwu Orano has details.
The Bishop Emeritus of Nnewi Catholic Diocese, Most Reverend Hilary Odili Okeke, who led in the Requiem Mass, consoled the family of the deceased, charged them to live a good life in order to make heaven. In a sermon, Reverend Father Syracuse Ofor, in charge of Odomili Bethsaida Praying Ministry, noted that the burial, considered with Easter octave, spoke extensively on the power of resurrection, where Jesus Christ defeated death, which is man's greatest enemy and fear, adding that resurrection gives Christians hope of an unending life. As Honorable Emmanuel will also rise on the last day.
Death has been a problem to mankind. Humans have been struggling how to deal with death. Why people die, where do people go after death, and is there a hope for a human soul to survive after death?
In separate interviews, the first and third sons of late Honorable Emmanuel Okoye, Mayor Ikenna and Engineer Uzo, described their father as an honest, hardworking and God-fearing man, promised to carry on with his legacies, while the second son, Dr. Onyedeka, said his father was a disciplinarian, mediator, teacher, and a counselor who touched many lives, prayed for the peaceful repose of his soul.
My father is a kind man, he's a good man, fearless man, he's a passionate man, he's a very good man.
I promise to him is that I would continue the good things he taught us, me and my siblings, you know, the truthfulness he always, you know, led for us to follow.
For the first daughter and daughter-in-law of the deceased, Barrister Ijoma Okonkwo and Mrs. Nneka Okoye, their father was a man of integrity, promised to uphold peace in their family.
He was so loving. He was a disciplinarian. He was everything, you know. He's so, no human being is a perfect person, but I can say that he has a lot of integrity.
The grandchildren of the deceased, Vivian Okonkwo and Ifunanya Okoye, as well as the eldest sister, Mrs. Roslyn Okoye, all bore testimonies of his good life. Others, including Chief Azoka Alomona, Mrs. Antonia Abase, the parish priest of St. Augustine's Catholic Church, Edoji, Uragonewi, Reverend Father Marcel Onwu Anilibe, condoled with the family of the deceased. Farewell songs by the deceased children, dance by Catholic women of St. Augustine, and condolences featured during the burial that attracted dignitaries from across the country.
May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS TV from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Go on to subscribe to our YouTube channel at ABS Television Oka. You can also join us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. Log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And now the main points that made the news again tonight. Bill for Safety, Protection of Factory Workers has scaled second reading in Anambra State Assembly. Executive Secretary, Anambra State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, UCHEM, has tasked staff on effective service delivery. Mr. Finteri has won Adamawa State gubernatorial election. From the foreign scenes, we told you that Brazilian President Lula has condemned violation of Ukraine's territory. Governor Joe Masoludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. That's all of the news tonight. My name is Uchechukwu Ibana. Good night.